What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on these topics. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is this situation that I uncovered by doing some research about Jay Z. And Jay Z and Diddy have a glaring similarity as it pertains to being in the liquor business, right? And so what's interesting about these dynamics is the fact that we know that Diddy sued Diageo and won. Well, let's just say Diddy settled because that's what actually happened. And I believe he walked away with a little over $100 million from the settlement. But Jay Z actually sued Bacardi over the Douce Cognac brand in 2021. And actually in 2023, he ended up walking away with $750 million, right? Do you guys see the comparison here? Let me read you a few things. And so it says, the story goes back to 2012 when Carter and Bacardi partnered to launch Douce Cognac with the aim of shaking up a traditional category bossed by two dominant players, Hennessy and Remy Martin. The legal troubles began in October of 2021 when the rapper and entrepreneur looked for a buyout over concerns that Bacardi's subsidiary overseeing Douce's day-to-day operations was mismanaging the brand by not adequately preparing for a surge in demand. Carter initially attempted to exit the partnership by requesting Bacardi buy out his 50% stake for $2.5 billion. The spirits company responded with a nearly $500 million valuation from the same shares. Bacardi subsequently rejected Carter's counteroffer of $1.5 billion for his own stake. That kicked off months of arbitration and litigation in multiple states, focused mostly on the valuation of the cognac brand. The battle over a cognac-making joint venture between Jay Z and Bacardi is headed back to arbitration after a New York judge declined to halt proceedings before a panel that the music mogul has criticized as biased and possibly bassist. And I'm paraphrasing there. You guys can see what it actually says. Justice Andrea Masley on Friday rejected a bid by SC Liquor LLC, a Jay Z affiliate, for a temporary restraining order blocking arbitrators from hearing claims that the rapper breached his pledge to cooperate with the arbitration proceedings. The proceedings were set to resume Friday. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, but with Carter's lawyers tagging Douce with a $3 billion valuation throughout the dispute and Bacardi now owning at least 75.1% of the business, the rapper may have walked away with at least $750 million. Carter stated in a press release that he was excited to renew his partnership with Bacardi. And again, I want to reiterate that Diddy sued Diageo back in May of 2023 for bassism as well, and I'm paraphrasing. You guys can make out what I'm trying to say. So do you guys see the pattern here? So you have two of the biggest music tycoons in the business who sued liquor companies for discrimination and walked away with a pretty hefty amount of money, right? Now, I'm not trying to absolve Diddy and Jay Z from any wrongdoing. A lot of people think that I'm biased. I'm not. I'm just fair. I look at every side and every possible angle possible before I come to a conclusion. And first of all, we can't come to a conclusion. That's up to the courts. The courts have to find Diddy and Jay Z actually guilty of something, right? We can't be the judge, juror, and executioner here. That's just not our position. But I will say that it's not above the realm of possibility that Jay Z and Diddy ticked off the wrong people. And you can't tick off the wrong people when you have skeletons in your closet. So I just thought that this was important to talk about because it's a glaring similarity between Diddy and Jay Z. Once partnered with these liquor companies, ended up feeling like they were being discriminated against, and then they actually sued or whatever the case may be. And now all of a sudden Diddy is locked up facing multiple lawsuits, and now you have Jay Z ready to defend himself in court like this.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, you're damn enough.
But anyway, I want to talk about this text message that I got. I reached out to a hip hop legend. I met him at a sporting event about a couple of weeks ago. He actually lives in my area. And when I saw him, I was just kind of flabbergasted because he's one of the dopest MCs that I respect. And he's from New York, right? So I'm not from New York, but he's from New York. And I couldn't believe that he made the transition down here, down south. But, you know, it's expected, especially with the prices of homes and things like that. But anyway, I reached out to him and asked him about Jay Z because we was having a conversation about Diddy, the whole situation with Diddy and Jay Z at the sporting event. And this was the conversation piece. So I asked him, yo, quick question. I'm not trying to drag you into anything and you can decline to answer. But when we were at the game and we started talking about the Diddy case and whatnot, didn't you say that the funny thing about Jay and Diddy's relationship is that the two of them didn't like each other? And that there were rumors that Diddy wanted to take Jay out? I understand if I'm overstepping boundaries here with this question, but just let me know. I'm not going to mention you as a source. Denny responds this morning and says, "You good, B. Yeah, them ends were at odds on the low, and Jay confronted him at the studio about any issues Puff may have had with him. They didn't become cordial with one another until I'm guessing around 2005-ish or so. I may be off, but I'm for sure in the ballpark. But they would run into each other, conveniently so, because of music events and obligations. Why, what's up?" Now, I do want to say that this is all alleged information, but this is a hip-hop legend that I'm speaking to, and I believe him, but I still have to cover myself, right? Because at the end of the day, he could be wrong. But I just find it very interesting that Diddy and Jay Z really didn't rock with each other back in the day like that. There was some tension there. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden they become cool, and you started to see Jay Z going to Diddy's house and attending his parties and things like that. But you know, it's crazy. Diddy wanted to take out everybody. He wanted Big gone, he wanted Suge gone, and now Jay Z and multiple other individuals, allegedly Kim Porter and things like that. So this dude is a complete monster, allegedly, if this is true. But anyway, I want to move along and talk about Foxy Brown's interesting. We can see she says wait, and then she posted a shocked emoji, and then she also posted a freezing emoji. Seen a lot of people talking about Foxy Brown yesterday. You have to believe what this Jane Doe accuser is saying about Jay Z, because Jay Z was dealing with Foxy Brown when she was only 1'5" and things like that. How do you know that? Because Foxy Brown has denied it vehemently. Now, again, we could think what we want to think, right? But it wasn't proven in the court of law, and we weren't there to witness it, and it's not our place to judge people and convict people in the court of public opinion, right? So that was my premise yesterday. I was just like, listen, we don't know if Jane Doe is telling the truth. And because we don't know that Jane Doe is telling the truth or not, we're not going to discredit her story. But at the same time, I felt like Blue Ivy deserved her shine. She has faced so much scrutiny over her looks and things of that nature, and I felt like it was a calculated play by the lawyer Tony Busby to actually name Jay Z on Sunday to mess up their family gathering, their family dynamic. That's just my opinion, and I'm standing 10 toes down on it because we don't know. Jay Z has not been charged yet, right? Now, if Jay Z gets charged and found guilty, then my perspective on things will change. Because at the end of the day, I could care less if Blue Ivy had a moment or not, because Jay Z took something away from this alleged victim that she can never gain back. Now, when it comes to Aaliyah, right, I did some digging and research on that. The time frame that Dame Dash talked about going after Aaliyah and the particular time when Jay Z was dealing with Aaliyah would have been 20 years old and Jay Z was 29. So that's well within the jurisdiction of dating, right? But I will say this, there's something that he said in a song that really ticked me off, because it alludes to how Aaliyah passed away. Check out this clip.
Just make sure the plane you on is bigger than you carry on baggage.
So Jay says, so there you have it, S happens, just make sure the plane you on is bigger than your carry-on baggage. And remember, guys, that is one of the things that they said about the plane that Aaliyah was coming back to the United States on. They said that it was overloaded, it was too many things on there, and that was the cause of the plane ultimately going down. And so that is nasty work on the part of Jay Z when you've been accused, along with your wife Beyonce, for having something to do with the passing of Aaliyah. And I can see why people want the things that are coming out about Jay Z and Diddy to be true so bad, because you know there's a lot of skeletons in both of their closets, but we have to maintain our composure and deal in facts. And my definition of dealing in facts means somebody is convicted in the court of law, and that's when we can just go in on that particular person for being charged and convicted, right? Now listen, let's get back to Foxy Brown real quick before I forget to make this point, right? Still, we're pressing the issue. It did happen. I need a conviction, y'all. I need a conviction. Because in my estimation, without a solid conviction in the history books, it never really happened. Like, let's be honest, it's just hearsay. So, but anyway, let's move along, because I want to talk about Jaime Foxx real quick, because his Netflix special aired and he said some things about Diddy, and I want to play you that clip. So sit tight, I'll be back.
I say this all the time. I saw the tunnel. I didn't see the light. I see the light. I was in that tunnel, though. It was hot in that tunnel. Am I going to the wrong place? Because I looked at the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil like, come on. Was that Puffy? I'm fucking around. But if it was Puffy, he had like a flaming bottle of Johnson and... No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so you guys just heard that sound bite. Now, he goes on to say that he never really saw what was going down with the Diddy parties, that he always left early, and that's the same old playlist or playbook of other celebrities when it came to the question about, have you been to a Diddy party and what did you see? A lot of them always say that they left early or whatever the case. But I still think that there's an underlying message here. I feel that he's trying to say that Diddy has something to do with it without saying that Diddy had something to do with it. And I mean, when you say that you thought that you were losing your life and you were going to hell and Diddy was there and things like that, could be a joke, but listen, I don't think it's a joke. I think that Jaime did this Netflix special to tell his truth and things of that nature. Now, he did admit that while on set, he had a pounding headache on the day that he got sick. He blacked out. And basically, he was taken to the hospital. He was taken to Piedmont. And if you guys who follow me tight, if you guys remember, I told you all that because I had a plug that worked at the hospital about his condition. He said that basically he had a brain bleed and he suffered from a stroke and woke up several days later. He was confined to a wheelchair, had to learn how to walk again, learn how to take a bath again. So it was a very grueling process for Jaime Foxx, and I'm just glad to see him back. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna let all of this go right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that I discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.